guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to DIY Art Plus. So today I'm gonna paint a very colorful painting, and I'm gonna use a lot of colors for this painting. Now you can take a screenshot if you want to know the colors I'm gonna use, but I'm gonna show you one by one. And if you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and if you like this video, please give a big thumbs up. Alright, so let's start with the material I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use a big canvas. I'm gonna put the size down below in the description and all the supplies I'm using today. So again, as you can see, it's a rainbow colors. I'm gonna use a lot of colors for this painting. So I'm gonna use this kind of cream color. It says champagne here, but it looks like this. Okay. I'm gonna use a lot of white for this painting. So mostly I'm gonna use 2 shades of each colors. So if I'm using green, I'm gonna use 2 shades of green. If you only have 1 shade, you can just make it darker, lighter, however you like, but these are the name. Okay, and I'm gonna use blue, light blue, dark blue. This one has a little bit purple in it, so yeah. Okay, and I'm gonna use 2 shades of yellow. All right, 2 shades of kind of red and pinkish. I don't have 2 reds, so I'm gonna use this color here. So this is rose. All right, and I'm also gonna use a little bit of brown. Okay, so let's start painting. So I'm gonna work on my background first, and I'm gonna use this color here. And for that, I'm gonna use a bigger brush. And let's say maybe I'm gonna use this big brush right here. It's a flat brush. This is number, let's see if I can find the number. Okay, it says 3/4. I'm gonna use this round brush. It's number 6. And this is number 0. All right, so let's start painting. So first, what I like to do is just take a little bit of water on my brush, and I like to just wet my canvas, not completely, but just on some areas, so you know it's easier for me to apply my paint. Okay, I think that's good enough. Okay, now I'm gonna just pour my paint on my canvas. That's how I like to paint. So I'm just gonna get rid of this thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little paint everywhere. Okay, and yeah, I'm just gonna go for this. Just gonna go ahead and apply this paint everywhere. Now before we move forward to the next part, I'm just gonna make sure that everything is dry. And as I'm applying this paint here, I'm also gonna paint the edges, because my art fair is almost coming and it's in July. I'll share it with you, the pictures, videos, and everything. But that's why I'm making a large painting this time, so that I can also sell it in my art fair. So I'm doing the art fair after like 3 years. The last 2 times I got accepted in the art fair, but they didn't give me a good placement of my booth, so that's why I didn't participate. But this time they gave me the same spot, so I thought of, let's just try it, because you never know, might be good, might not be. So hopefully this will turn out good. But just in case, if anyone here in Michigan, please come to my art fair. It's in a Plymouth downtown in Michigan. So And after I'm done, I like to just smooth out my brush strokes like this. I'm gonna add a lot of flowers and a lot of leaves and a lot of more details here, so I'm not gonna see this color a lot, but I still like to, you know, smooth out my brush, my paint, I mean my brush strokes, just like this. Okay, here I'm all done. Now I'm just gonna let this completely dry and I'll be right back. Don't forget to wash your brush. I'm gonna use this brush, and again, this is number 6 size. It's a round brush, so I'm gonna use like a lighter purple color here. So I already have this purple here. I'm just gonna make this a little bit lighter. As I said before, I'm gonna use a lot of white for this painting, so let me make this light purple here. So I'm gonna use a lot of white and just tiny little bit of purple. Okay, you can make it darker, lighter, it's up to you. I'm just gonna make it nice and light. Alright, now I'm gonna add a nice big flower. So I'm just gonna think about the placement of the flowers. I'm gonna add like clusters of flowers on one area. So basically, I got my hair there, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna add maybe 3 flowers maybe right here. So let's start with the purple color here first. So let's say this is the center of my flower. I'm just gonna make a little dot and I'm just gonna add the petals around it. So let's say I'm just gonna add my petals, looks like this. I'm not gonna think a lot, just go for it. Okay, because if I think a lot, I'm just gonna mess up. So I like to just go slow and just don't think too much. So that's 1, 2. I'm gonna add 6 petals here. 3, 4, 5, and 6. As you can see, this is super light. I'm just gonna have to do 2 layers. So firstly, I'm gonna let it dry a little bit, and I'm gonna add my second flower just next to that. This is gonna be slightly a little bit smaller than this one. Okay, I'm just gonna add maybe a couple more flowers maybe down here. Okay, that's good. I'm just gonna make this one a little bit more bigger, and I'm just gonna do second layer here now, and you can clearly see the difference between the first layer and the second layer. So this painting is gonna take me a little time, so I might fast forward some of the part because I'm sure you don't want to see me doing the same thing again and again. So Okay, that's all I'm gonna do. Now I'm gonna move on to my next flower, which is adding a different color here, and I'm gonna use, let's say, little lighter red color here. So I'm gonna make it a little bit light. Basically I'm just mixing my red and my red and red and white together. Now let me show you a very easiest way to add these flowers. Okay, basically I'm just adding a little circle, you can say. All right, so I'm gonna add again some clusters of these flowers. So maybe I'm gonna add some flower on this area right here. So let's see, it looks like this. Make sure this color and this color is slightly a little different shade. I mean, it's gonna be different, but still. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little circle like this. Okay, some big, some small. Just basically filling up this area a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfectly circled, but you know, make sure this flower is nice and dark, because I'm gonna add some more other colors on these flowers, so, and more shape, and maybe a couple of them are gonna be slightly a little bit more bigger than the others. Okay, that's all I'm gonna add here. Now I'm gonna pick another spot here, maybe let's say some right here. Okay, that's good enough. All right, now I'm gonna add more different type of a flower here. So let me clean my brush. So what I'm doing basically is I'm just adding the shape of all of this flower, and then I'm gonna add some more details on this flower after everything is dry. So I'm gonna clean my brush again, and the next flower I'm gonna add is a yellow flower. Now I'm gonna use this darker yellow for this flower. Actually, you know, sorry, yeah, this lighter yellow. All right, so I'm just gonna take my yellow, and I'm also gonna add a little bit of white because I really want this flower to pop out a little bit more. So if you use any color with the white color, it will look much better. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix my white and this yellow together, and guess what, I'm doing the same thing. I'm almost gonna add the same flowers like I did last time, but not this many. Okay, so let's say I'm gonna add a nice big big. I'm gonna use a big circle. I'm gonna make it bigger circle this time, so maybe this big. So that's one. Here's gonna be the second one, and just one more right here, a little bit small one than the last time. Okay, I'm just gonna do the second one. Maybe let's say on this corner right here. Same thing. I don't know if I like this yellow or not, but I'll see. If I don't like it, I can just always change the color, right? So let's say maybe there, and okay, I'm just gonna clean my brush now. Okay, now I'm gonna add some white flowers. Okay, so I'm gonna use my same brush, but I'm gonna add a different shape of the flowers. So all right, so I'm just gonna take my white and I'm gonna add this white flower, let's see, maybe right here. Okay, so one dot in the middle here for the center of the flower here. This is the center. Make sure that my painting looks like this and not like this. So I'm gonna paint like this. I hope you can see this. Okay, so just gonna add my petals like this. So basically I'm just adding 3 lines for one petal. So that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I like that. I'm just gonna add one more next to that. So maybe right here. I had a slightly different way maybe this time. Okay, and I'm just gonna do the same thing up here. just adding a nice and small one this time because I don't have a big space and I really want to add a different stuff around that area, so a different thing around that area. So I'm just gonna gonna go too crazy here. I might go back one more time on this flower to make it again more bright. The more you do it, the more confidence you get, and it will be much better. As you can see, my first one, and I'm getting better and better. I never paint this type of flower before, trust me, so I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. Okay, I'm just gonna add maybe a couple more down here. Alright, I'm just gonna go back and just add one more layer everywhere. Like, I just want to make it a little bit more darker. I'm barely like just you know, using a tip of this brush. Okay, I'm done with this flower. So my painting is gonna look like this once I'm done, because I had my flower that way, that side. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. Now I'm gonna work on my other stuff, and I'm gonna start adding some leaves here first. So let me clean my brush. And this white paint, I bought it from Walmart. It was a big gallon, and I transferred some of them in this small little bottle, so you know I can use it. And I use a lot of white on all of my painting. This type of green, mint green. Okay, so I'm gonna start adding some leaves. So I'm just gonna, you know, just think about where I want to place my all the greens. So I'm gonna start from top here, so I have enough space to add from here to here. Okay, I have enough space to add here to here. And I'm gonna bring it all the way to the edges from the edges. Sometimes I cannot, so I'm just gonna go very slow. Actually, go faster, so that way your hand don't really shake a lot, and you can just add your line very quickly without thinking a lot, and you get better shape. And if you also add a little bit of water in your brush, or in your paint, you will get a sharp line with one brush strokes. Now I'm gonna start adding some leaves, and I'm gonna use, let me start with the same brush. If I feel like I can do it with a bigger brush, I can try that. So I'm just gonna take more paint, and basically just adding the shape of the leaves. So let me show you on this area here first. So something like this. I think I'm gonna try with the big brush. Let me try with this one here. Okay, I think, yeah, this is better. Okay, I'm gonna try with the small leaves first. Okay, I'm gonna try a little bit differently. I'm gonna use this little smaller brush, not too small. Maybe let me try this one. This is number 2 size. So the first brush I tried, which is this one, this is number 0 size. I'm gonna try with this 2 size here because this was still too big for me. So I think this is better. Number 2 size is the better brush for this because these leaves are not too big. So okay, finally I'm done. This took forever, but I like this. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to my next color, and I'm gonna do the same thing, but again I'm just gonna use a different color this time. All right, I'm just gonna clean my brush, and I'm gonna use a darker green this time. So if you don't have this color that I'm gonna use now, all you have to do is just mix your green and a little bit of blue in it, and you're gonna get this color. So more green and less blue if you want to make that color. Okay, so I'm still gonna use my white color here. So I already have this color. I'm just gonna mix it in this. Okay, now I don't want to use too dark, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more white here. Okay, I might need a little bit more white. Okay, I'm just gonna add a drop of water here. Okay, now I'm just gonna use my small brush, number 0 size, to add the line first. So right there. Make sure these two color looks different. Mine is almost looking the same, so I'm just gonna make it more darker here. I'm not gonna touch this area because I used a lot of water there. And this time I'm gonna make my leaves slightly a little bit bigger than the last time. Alright, I'm all done with this color now. Alright, so I'm gonna move on to my next step. Let me clean all my brush here very quickly. Alright, now I'm gonna work on my bigger flower here first, and I'm gonna add some more details there. So I'm gonna use my small brush here, and I'm gonna use a little bit of purple. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of water on my little bit purple. Now I'm not adding any white this time. Okay, and I'm just gonna add a line like this on all of my petals. So make sure you take some water. This will be easier for you to do it if you are painting, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing with the white color too. So I'm just gonna do this with the purple here only. Now it doesn't have to be too perfect. Okay, I'm just gonna clean my brush, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the white this time. And make sure your paint is also nice and thin. So I'm just gonna add a little drop of water on that little bit of paint, and I'm gonna do the same thing. Now you can go over it, inside, outside, however you feel like. If you don't like any of this part, you can go back with some more purple, more red. I mean more purple. Okay, and then I'm just gonna clean my brush again, and I'm gonna go with some yellow on the center of these flowers. I'm gonna start with this yellow, a darker yellow I have here. And yeah, I'm just gonna add a little circle, you can say first. Let me start adding this yellow. I think this is better. I'm gonna use a lighter yellow here because that's gonna pop out a little bit more. So I'm just adding a little center of the flower, and after I add that color, I'm just gonna go back and add some dots on top of it like that, because I don't want a perfect circle in the center. Okay, same thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use a little bit darker purple, I'm sorry, darker yellow first, and then lighter purple, lighter yellow. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna add a little circle first with this darker yellow, and then I'm gonna add this lighter yellow on top, so you can see both of these colors here. All right, I'm gonna work on this this flower here now, so let me clean my brush. Okay, so my painting is this side, this way, so I'm gonna add these flowers facing that way. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some darker red on this area, so let me show you. Okay, no, so I don't really like this dark, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of white here, but I'm not gonna make it as dark as I have this color right here, just maybe a little bit darker. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is add a shape of the flower. So let me make it more darker. I don't think so you can see the difference. So okay, so I'm just adding petals, right, like this. And I'm also gonna add a water too here, because this will gives you a sharp edges, so you can see the difference right here. And if I add this paint now, it will look like this. Okay, so let me just go ahead and do this. Doesn't have to be too perfect. and I don't want a perfect circle, so that this is what I'm doing. Okay, so let me just do all of these flowers. So start from top, don't start from bottom, it will be hard for you to do it. So let me do this. So again, all of my flowers are facing up. So I think you can tell what type of flower this one is. It looks like a rose maybe, right? Yeah. Okay, so one last here, and then I'm gonna work on my white flowers, actually yellow flowers. So I'm gonna do the same thing with those flowers too, but I'm gonna use a different color, and I'm gonna use my darker yellow here. So let me start with the darker yellow. Again, I'm just gonna add a little bit of water in this, and in this yellow I'm also gonna add a little bit of red because I want to make this color a little bit lighter orangey here. So I'm just gonna take my yellow and a little bit of red. And I'm also gonna add a little bit of white in this because I don't want this to look like too orangey, so like lighter orange maybe. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing again. So I'm gonna start from top of the flowers this time. Okay, so something like this. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna work on the center of this yellow flower, and for those flowers I'm gonna use let's say I'm gonna use a yellow color again. Yeah, yellow is my favorite for this painting. Okay, so now I'm just gonna use this darker yellow first, and I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna, you know, add some dots on the center of this flower like that. Okay. Okay, I think I like this. All right, so I'm gonna start adding some color on these leaves first, and for that I'm gonna use white color. Okay, and I'm still using my small brush here, so all I'm doing is adding like line like this on both sides. Let me clean my brush here first because it's not too pointy right now. It looks like this. I'm just gonna make it nice and pointy first. Okay, now I can use my white and add a white like this. Alright, so now I'm gonna work on this red and yellow flower again, and I'm gonna add some white there. Alright, so actually I'm gonna use a very light color but not white. Okay, so let me use this brush here and make that color. So I'm gonna work on this red flower first. So I'm just gonna make almost the same color that I have in a background right here, but a little bit lighter than that. So I'm just gonna take some red and a lot of white. Now as you can see, these two colors look same, so I'm gonna add more white here. Okay, and then I'm gonna use my small brush one more time, and I'm gonna start from top this time. All right, so again I'm gonna do the same thing almost, but let me show you how I'm gonna apply this color. Let me just make a little dot and see if it's, you know, same color or maybe a little bit different shade. Okay, so I'm just gonna start from here. So something like this. I'm gonna make it a little bit more lighter because this is still too dark. Okay, that's better. Alright, now I'm just gonna clean my brush. I'm gonna do the same thing with the yellow, and this time I'm only gonna use white. I'm not using any yellow or any other color. Alright, now I'm just gonna fill most of the area I have here by adding some small tiny flowers, and for that I'm gonna use a blue color for this, and I'm gonna use both of these colors one by one, and I'm also gonna add some white in it as I go. So I'm gonna start with this light blue here. I'm gonna use this blue, and I'm gonna add a cluster of the small flowers. All right, so I'm gonna start with, let's say, on this area here first. So again, just adding this type of flowers, 4 petals, simple flowers. Okay, I'm just gonna make it a little bit more bigger here, 4 or 5 petals. That's, I'm gonna make it 5 petals. Okay. Alright, so the next color I'm gonna use is white. So basically I'm doing the same thing. I'm just taking some white and adding same type of a flower and just filling all of the space I have left in here. So I'm just gonna start with this. Basically I'm just gonna do the same thing. Just filling all of this area with the white. Now I'm trying to add this white as close as together. Alright, so now I'm gonna move on to my next part, which is adding some more color on this red and yellow flower. And for that I'm just gonna use my brown paint, and I'm just gonna add some dots. So let me start with the top of these flowers. So basically what I'm doing is adding some dots like this, so something like this. Same thing on this red flower. So when I started, I wasn't sure about this yellow flower, but those are the flowers I really like the most in this painting. Okay, and I'm also gonna do the same thing on this white flowers. So I'm taking a little bit of paint on my brush, and then I'm just gonna like dab on this area right here on my plate, because I really don't want to use a lot of this brown. So basically what I'm doing is adding a little touch of brown on the bottom like that. So I'm not taking any paint. I just take my paint like one time and just clean that extra paint on the side of my paper plate. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this one too. Okay. Alright, now I'm just gonna clean my brush. Okay, so basically I'm just adding white dots on this flower here, just like this. Alright, so now I'm just gonna use my blue color and add the center of this white and the blue flowers. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna make my paint a little bit thinner. Okay, I'm just gonna start with one corner and then slowly I'm gonna cover all of these flowers. So this is all I'm doing. I'm using this, I don't know. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do. Done with this painting. Alright, so yeah, again, here I'm all done with this painting. If you like this video, give a big thumbs up, and if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe to see this type of paintings, flowers painting. I love flowers, as you know. So yeah, I'll see you next time whenever we paint a get together. Alright, take care, bye.